Thanks for tuning in. This is Sweet Cyclist. Today we're going to be looking at the Hutchinson Fusion 5 Galactik Tubeless Ready tires. So here we have the Hutchinson Galactik tires. Not only do these tires have a really cool name, but they're one of the highest performance variations within the Fusion 5 lineup. You can see packaging wise, really simple. They have everything you need on here, nice high contrast. And what's really cool about Hutchinson, they make tire purchasing really easy. So you can see even on the box, you can actually see a nice spider graph comparing the different variations within the Fusion 5 lineup. There's a Galactik, Performance, and All Season. With the Galactik, this is a racing specific tire, so its lightness and then the rolling resistance is very low on these, so really high performance. What you do give up though, however, is puncturability. So being a lighter tire, it's less resistant to punctures and nails. Also, the longevity of this is a little bit lower, so you will have to replace this at faster intervals. Now I'm going to go ahead and take it out of the box. We'll go over the specs. As a part of the Fusion 5 lineup, these have the ElevenSTORM rubber compound. They're 127 TPI, so really supple, and you can really feel that right out of the box. They're not quite a slick tire, so it actually does have a thread here for a little extra grip. It has a nylon reinforcement within the center section, which provides some puncture resistance. As I mentioned, the most lightest variation within the Fusion 5 lineup. They're currently only available in 700 by 25 variations, and these are, of course, tubeless ready. With Hutchinson's really nice flat carbon bead here. And this really grips even if you have no pressure on your tire. This thing does not want to let go of the rim. So now let's take a look at the weight of the tires. These are 700 by 25, as I mentioned. One of the tires comes in at 226 grams, so quite light. And you got to remember with tubeless ready, you don't need a tube, but you do need sealant. And the weight of the sealant is balanced out by the lack of a heavy tube. So the other tire comes in at about 228. So to do the installation, because the tubeless, the rim tape is already applied, going tubeless is really a breeze, so I'm just going to put the tires on. These are directional, so be careful with that, unless you want to do this a couple times. Now you want to just get one bead on there, work your way around. So now that we have one side of the bead on, I'm going to go ahead and put my tubeless valve on here. This is a removable core version for muck off. This is really cool. This is the iridescent paint finish. Costs a little more money, but I think it looks really cool and it should match the wheels nicely. I've got this rubber grommet on here. You just slide on top. I'm going to go ahead and put it through the valve hole. Now, you might be tempted to really crank down on this with a set of wrenches, but according to Muck Off, it should just be hand tightened. So you really just get it in there by hand. Go ahead and put the lock ring on. Now what's cool about these are they actually come with a little gasket on the lock ring. So to make sure you stay airtight. And again, don't be tempted to over tighten these, if you can definitely ruin them. Now that's kind of hand tightened. I've got the core already out. Now I'm going to start from the valve and go ahead and start putting the bead on. So just like any tire installation, you want to be really careful to not force it on and damage anything. And then of course the hardest part is always that last little section in the middle. You can see it kind of fights you. The trick to that is you really have to hold both sides and then work your way in, slowly just putting it on. Thankfully these Hutchinson tires are quite soft, so pretty easy to do. So you see it's on, pretty simple. So to make the installation a little bit easier, I'm going to take a little sponge with soapy water, run it along the rim, and then that should help the bead pop into place a little bit easier. Now we'll take the 2B booster. I've taken off the core as well, just to make it a little bit easier. And I'm going to pop it on here and hopefully the bead will pop in place. So you heard that. Now I'll remove it. And it looks like it actually popped in. So if we look around the wheel, you can see it's actually, the bead is on, even though we have no pressure with that valve taken off. So really easy. Compared to my other decathlon bike, which I did a conversion on, this one is smooth as butter. Okay, I've already reboosted up the 2E booster. Now I'm going to put on the valve. I've got the valve core off again, and soapy water around the rim, and let's see how it goes. There you go, nice pop, pop, pop. And then we'll remove it. So with these successfully installed, I'm going to put some sealant on them, and we're going to get the wheels and tires on the road. So now let's take the Galactik tires and token wheel set on the road. The token wheel set is a lightweight climbing wheel, so naturally we went to a local climb to really assess the performance. We've already logged a few hundred miles on this wheel and tire setup to really assess the true nature of them. And we were really quite impressed with the tire and wheel setup. Despite only being a 700 by 25 wheel, it provides a lot of comfort. It takes the edge off that you normally feel, that harshness on the road that you'd feel with a more narrow tire, and really smooths everything out while still providing a lot of feedback. So that results in more confidence, especially when you're descending. You can really throw it in the corners and know you have enough grip there and enough feedback to know when to really back off. Now, being in California, we don't see a lot of rain, so these tires were a pretty good match for us. If you do a lot more rain riding, we would caution against using these tires, as even Hutchinson describes them as a optimized wheel for optimal conditions. So these are definitely a good race day or just fast tire if you're in more sunny, warmer conditions. So now let's go over the Hutchinson Galactik scorecard. We have 4 different categories. We have grip, durability, comfort, and value. In terms of grip, I would give the tires an A. They're really confidence inspiring. There's a lot of grip and really good feedback from the tires, so you can really throw it in corners and know you'll be okay. Durability would be an A-. These are really optimized for speed, which means it has less puncture resistance than other tires in the lineup. We haven't experienced any punctures yet, but this is not a tire you want to use if you have a lot of thorns or other kind of debris on the road. Comfort-wise, definitely an A. This might only be a 700 by 25, while the current trend tends to be 700 by 30 or bigger. Nevertheless, it provides a really smooth ride. It really dampens out a lot of the harshness that you get with high pressure and more narrow tires. And value-wise, I'd definitely give it an A. Despite the higher retail price as a racing tire that you can use for really high speed events or just fast weekend rides. Thanks for watching this review. If you like the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist, reminding you to enjoy the ride.